as soon as we got those provinces called, and that's huge. That's what Humanist is all about. Reduces revolt risk, increases taxes, increases manpower. We're about to hit the military monarch power cap, so let's invest in some quality ideas. Increased infantry power, it's always good. My verdict is definitely out on the Granadan national ideas. I actually really like them. Reduce technology cost, reduce coin cost. I mean, that's pretty terrific in my opinion. They're good ideas. Not the best, but they're certainly up there, which is handy for us. One of the hardest things about playing Granada is your woefully bad faction leader at the start of the game. He's largely responsible for why we were so far behind in technology for so long. Yeah, we'll keep fabricating those claims. Save us 10% on coin costs. Used to be a lot more, used to be 25%, but 10% still better for nothing. Wow, Ottomans are involved in that League War. And they've just had the event Janissaries. Interesting. Very good decision, gives you a bunch of discipline. Very strong decision. Although it does have consequences later on. Construct a few buildings. Make good use of the... we actually get reduced build cost as Granada. I actually forgot about that. That's also handy as well. Very handy for manufactories later on. There you go. Build cost reduced by 10%. Now we can't call that off a province because it's inland, as you can see. So we don't have a border with it to an already called province. So we're going to have to wait. There's the conditions. Restore Andalusia or Andalusia or whatever the sort of Muslim term is. Not quite sure. There we go. We'll call that final province. We didn't take out Valencia because Castile's occupied it, but obviously Valencia is going to be a target very shortly because it is one of the single wealthiest provinces in the whole of the Spanish Peninsula. It's also part of our goal here to get the achievement, which is what this is all about. France is still locked in a war, so I can breathe easy. We fight the past, it fights back. That is a negative event spawned by the Humanist idea group, but it's not particularly damaging. On the contrary, Humanist has two positive ideas, two events that spawn. One reduces all subsequent idea group costs by 10% for I think it's 20 years, which is very good. Another one increases your base tax in a random province. Okay, long time since we've had to deal with something like this. Well, let's take a look at that province. Wouldn't be too big a deal if that was transferred to either of the emirs or the clergy. Make sure our influence is low. It is. I'd like to lose a bit of emir's influence, actually. So... yeah, there we go. Lose nobility influence. That's what I wanted. Keep it nice and low. Don't want any more dominance events. We've had enough of those already. One year and we'll get our interactions. Yes, that is why we pick humanist idea groups right there. All of those newly conquered provinces are immediately accepted culture. So reduce revolt risk, higher income straight away. Excellent. That's what I like to see. And we are going to get accepted culture on all the culture groups in Iberia because of how proportionally high base tax they have. Mamluks no longer considered as a rival. I don't blame them. They are a shadow of their former self. Wow, Austria, World War I is well in progress here. Austria is being flattened, basically, from the looks of things. Northumberland has conquered Wales also, so, and Leinster has joined Meath as the second independent Irish faction. Interesting to see. Two more claims to fabricate in Castile. Quality, well, you can never have too much money. No, you cannot. And we will spend that money right away on buildings. But what type of buildings? Trade's good, tax is good. Always have to be mindful that you're not building buildings in provinces with too high autonomy, because of course that reduces the overall productivity of those areas. We can get rid of our missionary. Rival of rivals complete. Conversion successful. One more province. Oh, hold on. Religion in Urgell has been converted. That is a shame. And it looks like two more are going to be converted. Well, they're not. They're just being flipped from Catholic to Protestant, so not too bad. Still annoying, though. I'd like to get those transferred over to the Islamic religion ASAP. See, missions. Well, we'll cancel that straight away because I'm not wasting any time here fighting with Mali. This is solely about getting the achievement now, so no more getting sidetracked. About to hit the military monarch power cap. Let's invest in another idea. Another conversion successful. We can start building manufactories now, but I don't think we have that good income, so with that said, it'd be really good building a manufactory in provinces like Tlemcen. Fortification, we don't really need a fortification there anymore, so we have a bunch of fortifications in Morocco, which are just costing money, so we'll probably get rid of them at some point. You know, I'm not too concerned about our defensive position in the African coast anymore. We have no more threats. Tunis is our ally, and they share a 100% border with us in Africa, so the Mamluks do as well, but we're pretty secure there. Mobs target unbelievers. Lose parity or gain parity? Well, doesn't really matter at this stage. Losing parity improves technology rate. Higher parity increases army morale, so one or the other. Doesn't really matter. Build a manufactory in that province, Tadler. Since that is actually a copper producing province, which is worth a ton. So that's actually a really good idea. It's going to boost our income by a lot. Does still take a long time for manufacturers to pay for themselves. Probably not as long as temples, but it's a long time regardless. Tons of armies roaming around the south of France. So long as they're fighting each other, not me. Trying to get a better advisor here. Getting rather impatient, so I'm going to keep firing him until I get someone I like. Nope, Prestige won't do either, so let's remove him. Rival of a rival, another 25 diplomatic power. Improve relations with... No, I'm really after the yearly inflation reduction advice. That's who I'm looking for. Another battle here. Hard to see which way that war's going. Doesn't look like it's going in favour of Austria, though. I'll tell you that much right there. Yeah, Austria is... And there's another one of our provinces converted. Fire another advisor. This is really expensive, but I'm determined. I want a inflation reduction advisor. Fire yet another one. Another 26 ducats down the drain. Good harvest. Wow, 300 ducats is a lot, but administrative monarch power is even better. Fire him. Look at all these armies. There goes our admiral, unfortunately. He wasn't a very good admiral, so he will not be missed. So we will think about declaring war on Castile very shortly. Fire another advisor. We'll keep doing this until we have the right advisor. Yeah, so once Castile does actually have... There we go, yearly inflation reduction. That's who I wanted at long last. So Castile has Castile still does have quite a large army, but they're in the midst of this war. Wait for them to suffer defeat, and then we'll probably declare war and set about conquering the remainder of Castile's provinces. Ottomans are in a Regency Council. That's interesting. It's probably going to take us at least 4 more wars to fully occupy the Iberian Peninsula. We'll need a couple to gobble up Portugal. And probably 3 wars will get Castile completely conquered. 3? Yeah, I think so. We already have their really valuable provinces, so really we're looking at 5 wars. So, you know, it's within reach, it's within our grasp, but we're making good headway here. Yeah, of course, demand diplomatic support, get our additional monarch power. There we go. And in 6 years, we'll be able to do the same for administrative and military. Black news indeed, our faction leader has died, and he's replaced by an even better faction leader. Our heir is not perfect, but he's better than He's around about average. So I'm very happy with our current Evo. He's got really good stats. We can also establish Islamic Center Scholarly Learning, which is from having high diplomatic skills. So that's pretty good. Good faction leader, really happy with that. 363, I mean, it's 3 above average. Anytime you're, I mean, 6, 9, yeah, 12. Average is always 9, so... Been getting pretty decent faction leaders so far. And I have to say that it really makes a difference. It's very hard to, you know, to really pull this off if you're getting poor faction leaders, because you're going to fall too far behind in tech. We're still behind in technology levels, you can see, but you know, with that said, we're closing in now. What are we at? Level 13 is kind of average for Western faction at this stage, so a couple more to go. Cavalry combat ability, I'll take it because we're about to hit our cap. Ship durability, again, another very good quality idea. That's Castile's army. It is quite small, and it's bordering our province, which means that it would be very easy to eliminate in the opening phase of a war. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. It's a tempting target. It's down to 9,700 troops now. Interesting. Would be nice to declare war when we have the next tech level, but we could invest in that. Choose to expand with Mamluks, that is fine. Plus 10% morale in navies. Yeah, quality is the best military idea by far. Alright, well, we probably have to deal with Castile, so unhappiness above the peasantry. Why can't my peasants just behave themselves? Mission complete. Get a new one and immediately cancel it because we don't want that one. Yeah, so we need to really get about carving into Castile now. So time is of the essence. We'll increase army maintenance, activate our fortifications, and prepare for what will hopefully be a very straightforward war with Castile. Let's free up our diplomats so we can declare war. And we'll invest the remainder of our military power in ideas, and we'll just go with the tech level we have already, because we're going to be at least in power. Yeah, we'll be at the same military tech level as Castile. Enemy allies, Papal State, not an issue. Würzburg, not an issue. And the last one, not an issue. Oh boy. Yeah, unfortunately, folks, we just can't catch a frickin' break. Unbelievable. So, for those who haven't been following this series, every episode. This is the third Regency Council we've been in. We probably spent about 25 years in Regency Council. That's at 120 years played. And that's not going to break for 12 years, so that is really, really bad. Our Regency Council sucks, like the last one. And literally, I was probably about a month from declaring war. I wasn't expecting my faction leader to die, because, well, why the hell would he? why would he die? He was what, 20 years old? He wasn't in command of an army. Dear, oh dear. That sucks. That's going to, unfortunately... I mean... I was about a month from declaring war when that happened. God damn it. That's happened now twice concurrently, basically, and 3 times overall. I'm not happy about that. That is a real pain. Well, I'll stop whining in a second once I've got over the sheer shock, but for now, I guess all we can do really is stop creating buildings in all our provinces and speed up time. What a frustrating thing to happen. Yeah, so we've got tons of money. Basically, we'll spend the remainder of this time whilst we're locked in this nefarious. That's not the word I'm looking for. Insidious Regency Council. We'll focusing on constructing buildings, I guess, and that's pretty much it. Would it be the optimal time to strike Castile, because they've just come out of a particularly bloody war? But you know that you get the dice that are thrown at you, and in this case, the RNG dice have really. Well, they've hit us in the forehead and basically knocked us unconscious, is what I'm really trying to say. But, I don't know, 2 months and we would have been at war. That's all we needed, but our cursed faction leader, who had great stats, who was well above average, has perished. So, buildings it is. Rather frustrating. Just going to delay the date at which we can basically get this achievement. But there's not much we can do about that. That's just the way it goes. Cancel that mission because, of course, we won't be conquering anything for the immediate future. There is no way I could engineer war in a Regency Council, unfortunately. So I'm trying to think, is there any way I could get, you know, a call to arms or maybe ally a nation that would that Portugal or Castile has designs on? The answer is I can't really think of any. Castile's not going to declare war on anyone anytime soon, so pretty much we're stuck in a Regency Council. And I'll try to make the most of it by creating a lot of buildings, but there's not much more I can do than that. And we're going at ×4 speed here. And we may even pop it up to ×5 speed. Depletion of European beaver. So that's the second event I was talking about, as well as felt hats. So that's going to boost the price of fur up, and that's what makes Muscovy and Russia so powerful during the late game. They get tons of fur. It's worth an absolute ton in terms of its trade good, and they're just able to dominate the world supply of fur. Diplomatic insult. Pick improve relations. And we're just creating lots of buildings. Vassalize Fulo. Yeah, let's not pick that mission. It's the only mission we've got, but two more idea groups to select. We are now behind the military tech level, the average tech level at this rate, but you know, we're not going to be fighting any wars anytime soon, so probably not a bad idea investing all of that into ideas. Just make subsequent technology a lot cheaper. Pick the mission and then immediately cancel it. And we're now at ×5 speed. So we're just waiting on our heir, who's pretty decent, to come of age, and hopefully he won't immediately die and place us into another Regency Council. And building more buildings. Thinking about transitioning a bit over to military buildings now, because I have noticed in the last wars we do actually struggle quite a lot with our manpower. We lose a lot of manpower very early on, so bolstering that by a little bit it will be quite handy. And back to ×4 speed. Just taking a look to see what we can do in our second gold producing province. Mission improve prestige. Doesn't look like we're going to be able to fulfill the conditions of that mission anytime soon. Invited to something off, we'll just say yeah, whatever. Improve relations with Tunis, improve relations with Ottomans, ×4 speed. And we'll build a few more buildings here and there, sprinkle them about our fledgling nation. Nobles demand increased pensions. So a year ago it was the peasants and now the nobles. Good gracious. Everyone's just revolting against the civic leadership. Yeah, not much to do except build even more buildings. Build one in Tafilil, since that's a highly developed province. Technology still lacking, but we are, you know, we're not that far behind in military tech, so doing all right. We got basically close to 3 maxed out idea groups. Right, so we got 3 barracks under construction. Actually, we only need 2 more ideas to max out the total idea group and max out our national ideas, so probably think about doing that very shortly. France has announced Granada's arrival. Okay, so that's gonna basically be a big issue here. I'm gonna want to think about upgrading our fortifications right away, because that basically means trouble if ever I've seen some. So I'll activate my fortifications and start building a few cautionary fortifications in the Catalan provinces. And wait till we have the income and then start constructing them straight away. There we go. Expensive, but increase our tech level. Seven years to go on our new faction leader. ×4 speed. And another barracks. Stronger manpower reserve pools will certainly aid us greatly now that France has rivaled us. I think that a conflict with France is going to be inevitable, and that's going to be a total war. Pushing into France is very difficult. Defending our territory is going to be difficult. Basically, what that means is, you know, we've got. It looks like we're going to have a few, you know, devastating conflicts ahead of us, at least with France. So, in theory, we can still suffer some considerable setbacks. With that said, we do have Ottomans as an ally to call upon, which is always something worthwhile taking into consideration. Let's max out those idea groups then. Reduce naval attrition, the worst idea in the quality idea group. Now the unbelievers are causing trouble. Good gracious. Everyone has to have their say. France has entered into a military coalition. Aragon has entered into a military coalition. And Castile has entered into a military coalition. Okay, so they're all rivaling us already, and now they're in a coalition. No, we obviously can't declare any offensive wars because we're in a Regency Council, but that is a mighty coalition. So I am going to ferry my troops very auspiciously from Spain back to Africa because I don't have time for that. So if there is declaration of war, we're gonna have time at least to marshal up a large army in order to deal with that. That's our idea groups complete. Both our military idea group and our actual national ideas. So let's activate those fortifications. We've got one underway. So if they do declare war on us, all they're gonna fight in the opening phase is with attrition. But that is a concern. Castile and France and Aragon combined, I wouldn't be able to resist that alone. Potentially, with the Ottomans as an ally, I'd be able to prevail. But, you know, France can just create such huge armies. Estates interaction is up, so we'll take the 100 military and administrative power. And we will forge ahead and continue to invest in our overall technology rate. And we're slowly narrowing that gap. This Regency Council hasn't particularly helped us. But, you know. Yeah, I want more fortifications. I wouldn't mind having a fortification in every one of those provinces, since I can't really defend it with my army. It's too isolated. Now, we destroyed the Aragonese and the Castilian navy, but France can still build a lot of ships. And, you know, depends on what they build, really. If they build a lot of galleys, that could be an issue. They tend to like to keep their fleets in the Atlantic, so there's a coalition. Most of Western Europe, France, Castile, and Aragon. That is a mighty coalition. And you know the really depressing thing? We're probably going to have to trigger that once our Regency Council ends. Which means, whichever way you look at it, if we sit passively or we go on the offense, we're going to have to fight France, Castile, and Aragon simultaneously. Now, if we're the ones taking the initiative, it's probably not on a reasonable objective. Like, we can quickly surround and destroy Castile's army. We can build a bunch of fortifications in the north, in Catalonia, which is what I'm doing, which will keep the French at bay. And Portugal has joined the coalition as well, rather predictably. So we can, yeah. Okay, so if we could isolate Spain and Portugal's army quickly, and we're not going to really have to deal with Aragon's army. Nation of Ottomans, your faithful hours, requesting come today. Ottoman conquest of Iskandera against the Mamluks. Well, we'll accept that. And we'll mop up the Mamluks like we've done 2 times previously. Alright folks, I think I'm going to go ahead and put a cut in here. As always, thanks for watching. And I'll see you shortly.